Welcome to The Explainer. So, you're looking at this absolute explosion in generative AI right now, and you're probably wondering, what does it actually take to get in on the action? Well, today, we are demystifying exactly that. We're looking at the real costs, the actual time commitment, and the true return on investment for upskilling in Gen AI in 2026. We'll dig into the hard numbers, the actual curriculums, and what it literally takes to go from a beginner to totally job-ready in this incredibly fast-moving space.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Right off the bat, I want to give you the benchmark number. If you're a beginner wanting to get industry ready, you need to expect to invest somewhere between 35,000 and 40,000 rupees. That's the baseline we're seeing for really quality, comprehensive training in major tech hubs like Hyderabad. But, what does that chunk of change actually buy you? And how do you make sure you're getting the absolute best value?
Well, to answer that, we've got a clear investment blueprint for you today. First, we'll look at the landscape of AI training in 2026. Then, we're breaking down the costs. Third, we'll check out the top institutes in Hyderabad. Fourth, the core skills and tools you'll learn. And finally, we'll calculate your actual career ROI.
All right, let's kick things off with Part 1, AI training in 2026, and the timeline to upskill.
Setting the stage here, the tech landscape right now is moving incredibly fast, and modern training programs, they completely reflect that sheer urgency. Companies literally do not have years to wait for talent to develop anymore. Just look at this timeline, 2 to 4 months. That's it. We aren't talking about a traditional 4-year degree here. It's a highly focused, short-term sprint. These programs are intensely structured to take you from a complete beginner to job-ready in a fraction of the time. You're stepping into an accelerated environment built specifically to meet immediate industry demands. So the time commitment, super short and totally manageable. But what about the financial side of things?
That brings us to Part 2, breaking down the costs. What are you actually paying for? Now, what's really interesting here is how the logistics completely dictate the price.
When you hand over that tuition fee, what's the breakdown? Well, we basically have 3 primary modes of training, and the base pricing scales directly with how much physical interaction you get. Online training is your most affordable baseline, starting right at that 35,000 rupee mark. If you want a little mix of both worlds, the hybrid model sits right in the middle at about 37,500. And if you're someone who really needs to be in a physical room, offline classroom training peaks at around 40,000 rupees.
Let's actually contrast those two extremes to understand the value proposition. On one hand, you've got online training at 35K. This gives you maximum flexibility and total remote access. You're getting live instructor-led sessions, project mentoring, and lifetime access to class recordings, all from your couch. On the other hand, classroom training at 40K carries a bit of a premium. Why? Because you're getting that direct trainer interaction, real-time discussions, and face-to-face mentorship. But here's the kicker. Both modes give you access to the exact same core projects and placement support. So that extra 5,000 rupees? It really just secures that in-person, highly collaborative environment, if that's how you learn best.
Moving on to Section 3, top institutes in Hyderabad and exactly where to invest.
Let's shift our focus to Hyderabad for a second, because it is a massive hub for these specific educational investments. If you're going to put down your time and money, where should you actually go? Walk with me through this matrix of top institutes. You'll notice the fees vary wildly across the market. For instance, you have Ashok ITOAD offering a short-term, beginner-friendly program starting at a really accessible 25,000 to 35,000 rupees. Then, sitting right in that 35,000 to 45,000 sweet spot, you have institutes like Generative AI Masters and Brawley Academy. They're offering 2 to 3 month focused programs with real-time capstone projects and lifetime recordings. But then, look at the higher end. You've got School of Core AI at almost 65,000 or 360 DGTMG and XLR pushing all the way up to 75,000 rupees. Those higher fees usually reflect longer durations, up to 6 months, deeper curriculums, or way more extensive placement assistance. As a learner, you really have to weigh those features against your own budget and career goals.
Which leads us straight into Section 4, core skills and tools, the technical curriculum. So, the crucial point here is, what exactly are you learning for your hard-earned money?
Well, here is the rapid-fire list of cutting-edge generative AI tools and concepts that make up the absolute foundation of these courses. And to be clear, you aren't just learning vague theories here. You are getting hands-on with ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude. You'll dive deep into prompt engineering so you can actually command these models effectively. You'll build AI agents, and you'll master absolutely crucial enterprise frameworks like LangChain, RAG, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation, by the way, and large language models. These are the heavy-hitting, highly practical tools that businesses are desperately trying to integrate right this second.
Let's actually look at how this builds up, using an example from Brawley Academy. They outline a very honest, no-nonsense stack for an Azure data engineer in 2026. Look at how it layers. Step 1 is your core tech foundation. These are non-negotiable skills like SQL, Python, and Apache Spark. Step 2 moves you into the classic Azure platform services, so things like Data Factory for orchestration and Synapse Analytics. And finally, Step 3 brings you right to the bleeding edge with Microsoft Fabric, which is the unified SaaS direction the entire industry is heading in.
And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates a vital reality of upskilling right now. The source explicitly notes that while the big shift in 2026 is toward Microsoft Fabric, the classic stack is still running in thousands of live enterprise environments. Think about what that means. A truly quality course doesn't just teach you the newest, shiniest tool on the market. It teaches you to be strategic. You literally must learn the classic infrastructure to maintain current systems and the new platforms to guide the company's future. That duality, that is exactly what makes you an incredibly valuable asset to any team.
All right, let's bring it all home with Section 5, Calculating Your Career ROI, or the payoff.
This is the final climax of our explainer. When the dust settles, does that initial 35,000 plus rupee investment actually pay off? Well, you kind of have to frame the course fee as a mere one-time investment, because just look at what it unlocks. We are talking about massive, high-demand career trajectories. Armed with these skills, you can step into roles like AI engineer, prompt engineer, AI automation specialist, AI developer, LLM engineer, or even an AI consultant. From agile, fast-moving startups to massive global IT enterprises, companies are actively hunting for professionals who can improve productivity and automate their workflows. The return on investment here isn't just about landing a job, it's about entering a field with virtually limitless long-term professional and financial growth.
So I want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought. The industry is undeniably shifting in 2026. Organizations are adopting these AI tools at absolute breakneck speed. Will you be the one automating the workflows, or will you be the one being automated? The training is accessible, the costs are clear, and the demand is completely unprecedented. The next step? Well, that's entirely up to you. Thanks so much for diving into this explainer with me. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.